Everybody, how's my favorite class today? I hope everyone's doing well. Monday, I had you guys watch this tutorial by Marty where he adds this, cool kind of radial design behind a picture. And I never have done this one before, so when I saw it on there, I was like, oh, this looks pretty cool. And it'd be cool to see if we could actually do it in Photopea. So this morning I was able to get this picture of Satchel Paige and cut it out. And then I was able to follow Marty's tutorial with a couple slight alterations and get the basic feel for the project. So I'm probably going to do this video in two parts because I want to go nice and easy and slow for everybody. I know some people are still having a hard time working in Photopea and opening and saving and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna start by just saving this file, and then I'm gonna start completely from scratch. We'll talk about getting pictures and all that kind of stuff. So when you're done working, I would suggest possibly taking a screenshot, especially if you've been having some problems saving and finding your files next time you want to open them, just so you can kind of show that you've been doing work. Not that I don't believe you guys, and I'm totally going to give you the benefit of doubt if you email me and say, hey, I can't find my file. But this way, at least you have a little bit of some kind of evidence that you've done the project, and you could probably feel a little better about writing an email and showing me and telling me that you couldn't find it. So I would suggest taking the screenshot. Also, when you're done with your project, you're going to go to a file. So you're not going to go to file at the top of your screen when you're in your web browser. So I'm in Chrome right now. I'm not going to go to this file and save. That's not going to do me any good. I'm going to go to the file that's in Photopea and then go to save as PSD. Now when I do that, that will automatically save it into, now I'm on my Mac, into my downloads folder. So I would imagine if you're on a PC laptop that it would save to your downloads folder. If you're on a Chromebook, I'm thinking, I tried it on my daughter's computer, it saves to the Google Drive. So don't think it didn't save. It did. It's in my downloads folder right now. So the other thing is, when you save it, it'll say, the name at the bottom. Now I've saved it twice, so it has like a little one in the parentheses here. You can also save it as, and you have to go to export. You can save it as a JPEG if you want, but you're going to lose all your layer information when you do that. Okay, but it might be good to have a backup of your document. So maybe I will save it now as a JPEG. It gives you this other screen right on top, and you could pick the quality or whatever it is and just hit save, and now it'll save it as a JPEG as well. Okay, so that's how you save your files. Okay, so I know I started by saving. Now we're going to start with a completely new document. So I did this one of Satchel Paige, who's in black and white. He was a famous pitcher, probably one of the best pitchers of all time, and he was one of the baseball players I like a lot. So I went and found his picture. It's black and white, but I kind of colorized the radial thing in the background here after I did it because there wasn't a lot of contrast. I think when we do a color picture, we'll find more contrast. So your first job is to actually find a picture. So I'm back, I'm on Photopea right now. I'm going to open up a new tab, and then I'm searching. Now I already kind of searched for some pictures. So I found another picture. And what works with this picture is you got to imagine the circular format going around because you want the person to fit in. So athletes, maybe a musician who's in kind of a cool pose on stage, or somebody doing something with action, gymnasts, things like that. They could work really well for this. So I went online. I just searched athletes. I found this picture, and I found a bunch of other pictures. In fact, I had a picture of my grandfather, and that's what got me onto the Satchel Paige thing. This is my grandpa. He played baseball during World War II for the Navy, but the picture didn't quite have that perfect circular thing. I think it could almost work, but not quite. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with one of the softball pictures. When you are choosing a photograph, look for the pixel dimensions when you're on your Google search, and make sure it's a decent quality picture. Okay, you also want to consider when you're looking for pictures like this, how hard is it going to be to cut out from the background. The picture I had of Satchel Paige, because it was all black and white, was really difficult to pick out from the background because the background was so complex here. This took me a really long time to cut out and to get into the form that you see it in. So selecting a picture, not only do you want to look for good pixels, but you want to look for the ease of which you're going to cutting it out. If she was all on a white background here, like this was taken in like a studio or something like that, you could cut out real easy. This isn't going to be too bad because the background is all one color. It's going to get a little funky where this other player is, and maybe up here where some of the background changes. Okay, this one, same thing. You might run into a little bit of trouble with some of the weird background, but she's all basically in white, so it might work out. It might work out pretty well. So maybe we'll give one of these two a try. The other thing is you're going to be radiating the color. So if she's all white right now, even though there's different shades in her uniform, there's not a lot of color that's going to be in your background when you're done with this. So maybe I'll actually go with this softball player here. So when you do find it, you want to save the image, and usually I just save it to my desktop. Okay, so I right-clicked on the image, save as. Sometimes I already did this, but sometimes I open the image in a new tab first, and then I save it. This way you get the full image. Okay, I'm ready to bring this into Photopea now, so that's Schoology, so let's get out of that. And that's Marty's tutorial, and here's Photopea. Okay. So the softball player that I have is on my desktop, and it's right over here in the corner. And to get this started, I'm going to simply it's a JPEG file, so I know it's going to work. I'm going to drag it right onto Photopea, and you can see the screen turns blue when you drag it on there. If I drag it in the middle, it doesn't really do anything, does it? Oh yeah, it does. All right, but if you drag it on there, it should work. The other thing I could have done is gone to File, and that's the file in this menu, not all the way at the top. And you go to File here, and you can go to Open, and I could find it on my computer that way as well. Okay, so here's my player, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this out from the background. Now, when you drag a picture in, make sure it's not a smart object. So I'm going to go to my menu here, and we're going to go to Layer, Rasterize. Now, this one, for some reason, is already rasterized, but you're probably going to have to do that at some point, okay? It's a background image right now, so what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably just going to duplicate the layer first. This way, if I screw this up royally, I will still have the background image to work from. So I'm just going to take this layer here, and I'm in the layers window, and I'm just going to drag it to the fold over piece of paper icon at the bottom, which is the new layer icon, and that is creating a new layer. Or I could have just hit Command J or Control J on your PC. Control J is duplicate layer. So see these two eyeballs here? I'm going to turn the background layer eyeball off so that when we start deleting out these pixels, we can see right through to clear. Okay. All right. So there's a couple ways to do this. As Marty said, you can simply just use your eraser and start erasing out your background. Now, if you're using your eraser and you're going to erase some big spaces out here, use a big eraser. So hit that bracket key next to the letter P. The other thing you could do is you can use selection tools. So I'm going to go to my toolbox here. So this was the eraser tool down there. This is the object selection tool. That has not worked too well for me in Photopea yet, but I'm going to try to use my quick selection tool here, and we're going to see how this goes. So I get my quick selection tool, and it's another tool where you can use the bracket key. So I'm making my tool smaller now, and then I'm going to click and drag over my image. Now you see it started to find a good edge along the side of her body here, but once I get up in here, it loses that. So I'm going to hold the Option key, which turns it into minus, and I'm going to start deleting it out. Now it took too much. I let go of the Option key, I click back on this, and start to take more again. All right, this edge isn't perfect, so I'm going to go over that. And you have to kind of take your time in doing this. Some of you may find that just erasing the background might be an easier solution. A lot of this depends on how complicated your background is. So I'm going to let you guys take your time cutting this out from the background, and then we'll pick this up in part 2 of my video. Okay, so your mission right now is to just isolate the picture so that the background is clear and it's just the picture of the subject. Okay, and we'll pick this up in part 2 and we'll do the special effects. All right, I'll see you in a few minutes.